Craig, I don't trust the new consortium handing over 1.6 billion to FSG with no interest in transfer. It seems like it was about 2 billion, mate, to be honest with you. So again, the reporting, Dan Sheldon and the Athletic, and I'm going to read this one out, actually. This is from Paul Joyce, so a different kind of viewpoint on it. Fenway Sports Group sold a 38% stake in the club to the consortium, which includes the new vice chairman Ahmed Bhatia and Jeff Bezos. The size of the shareholding is greater than the club, and sources close to Bhatia's 1892 holdings originally indicated, which has now served to raise questions as to why FSG was not more transparent. I'll get back to that in a minute. The increase means that 1892 Holdings have paid more than £2 billion for its slice of Liverpool. There is an option for 1892 Holdings to up their stake to majority shareholding in the next 12 months, although FSG have said this is not committed to that agreement. But what they mean by the last part is that they don't have to do it, they have an option to do it. But as Paul Joyce has said there, why a lack of transparency yet again? So to all the defenders of FSG, how do you feel now when yet again they've spat in your face? When yet again they've lied and they've not communicated and they've sold more than they were briefing? Remember, the Athletic initially said it was 8 to 10% that was being discussed. Then it became 30, then it became 40. FSG don't give a fuck. They never have, they never will. They were in it for the money. I've said it all the way through. And now here we are at the point where other people have to do some investigative work to figure it out, and not a damn statement from FSG or anybody else to confirm any of this. No statement to talk about the future direction of the club, what's going to happen next, nothing. Fans yet again just left in the dark. They always manage to get the new kits out and sell them though, don't they? They always manage to get the season tickets out and sell them. They always manage to fucking revenue generating. No problem with communicating with the fans on that one. But when it comes time to talking about the future of the club, nothing. Not a dicky bird. Nothing to be said. And as many of you have rightly said in the comments, and I'll reiterate as well, these lads were never coming in to buy 30% to just sit there and be passive investors. That was never going to happen. So it seems as if these guys are going to be taking over the club at some point, whether they go for, 100% ownership or enough to have a controlling stake, we'll see. But as fans, we just don't know. We just don't know. Nobody knows, whether you're talking about Spirit of Shankly, whether you're talking about season ticket holders, or nobody knows. And I find that really unnerving as a fan, that such deals of such magnitude can happen with no communication. But then again, these are the same people that woke up one day and told us we were joining the Super League without any consultation. So should we really be surprised? But, FSG built the main stand, so they're fucking great. I've always had a severe hate for the people that just want to talk about the financials with FSG and how great they are at increasing the value. I've found it really weird, especially when I go into the Athletic comment section. You wouldn't think you were reading a sports publication, because people seem to be more impressed with the business side than actual sporting merit. And I'm baffled by that, because as a fan, that's all we care about. The team on the pitch, the trophies, the success. The rest of it isn't up to us. But when you're not doing your job, you should be called out on it. But our esteemed journalists, they're too deep in the back pocket to actually do any of that. So here we are again now. I don't know. I'm just a bit frustrated, lads, as a fan. Ranjit said, Craig, great show. I think FSG have done a great job overall. Look, they've done okay, mate. They have, of course they have. But they've done even better for themselves, right? 300 million, and they've already taken out, I think, with 2 billion now, maybe close to 2.5 billion from the 300 million investment they initially put in. So, they've done okay, but they haven't done enough. They've never done enough, but they've done enough to raise the value of their asset. And I've seen so many people in the financial world talk about this to say they'll never get another one like it. They've made something like 1,400% increase on what they bought the club for. They knew what they were getting. They were getting a distressed asset at a snip. and they knew how they could add value, and that's okay. I've always said I don't care about them selling the club and getting the money. I care about them doing what needs to be done when they're here. And they never did. They never did. They did the bare fucking minimum, and people were tripping over themselves to talk about main stands. And I was always saying to you, there's a reason they built the main stand. There's a reason they built the Annie Road end, and it was to increase the value of their asset. Because ultimately they're paying for themselves. Increased hospitality, season tickets are paying for those stands, not FSG. So they did what anybody would do in their position. It's like buying a house and putting an extension on it and then selling it for more money. So that's what they've always been in it for. And that's why I've never understood people tripping over themselves to make out like there's some fucking heroes. Yes, they showed their financial wherewithal, and yes, they grew the club. But the growth of the club was never matched with the spending on the pitch. It wasn't even close. Ranjit said, 100% with you. They've done a bit more. They could have easily won much more. Exactly, bro. And that's the part that frustrates me. Kloppo, what an appointment. What a man. What a leader. But did they really back him to the extent they could have? No. And he was burnt out when he left. So it's same and same again. There's so many warning signs, like I've said. How many sporting directors have they gone through? Why is that? Why is it? It must be because they're either cheap fucks to work with or they're asking you to do things that are unreasonable. But we can't keep them in. We burned through Jurgen Klopp. We're just always lied to. And I'm at a loss to defend them anymore or even try to. Josie Jones, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Upper management has been shocking this window, said Raekwon. Yeah, they definitely have, dude. They definitely have. You know, like, what have they been doing for the summer? And even, I guess, even more frustrating, what have they been doing in the window and the build-up to it? You know? This is not like what we did or what we've done so far took a lot of groundwork. You triggered a release clause. And you got Xhaka, which was done in January. And the only reason Araujo came, and as I've said this to you before, is because they approached Liverpool. Liverpool didn't go and knock on Barcelona's door and go, can we have Ronald Araujo? We were approached about that. It fell into their lap. And they did it. And they did it because it meant they didn't have to spend money on a centre-back. But again, some people want to say that this is all just some master plan at work. It's not. It's the bare minimum at work yet again. So here's what Man City are doing. They've lost Rodri, right? And they've lost him and they got about nearly 70 million quid for a player with 1 year to go who's 30. So they've lost Rodri. And what have they done? They've gone out there and they've brought in Anderson, and now they're going to get Buadi. So they're out there dropping over 200 million on central midfielders. They already went out and brought in Antoine Semenyo, Mark A in the last window. They're backing their manager. Chelsea, Xabi Alonso came in there. No European football, absolutely blown us out of the water with spending again. Arsenal will outspend us again. That's where we're at, folks. And the reason we're not getting the transfers in is because of the contract situations and the amount of players they've let walk out the door without getting top dollar for them. So they're happy to save the money on wages, but they won't put it back in.